Okay, now I can go back into Unity and let me make a new scene. And with the new scene, I'm going to use the track and the car that I made in MagicaVoxel. So here is the car. I called it Duster. I'm going to drag and drop it here, Duster. And here's a track. And I'll drag and drop that. And I'm just going to keep things organized. I'm just going to make a folder for these guys, and I'm going to call it my prefabs folder. I'm just going to drag those two folders in here. So let's see, the first one is the track. I want to bring the track into the scene, so I'm going to drag and drop it in. And I have a nice model of a track here. But when Unity takes in the MagicaVoxel thing, it has a empty game object for the parent, and then it actually puts the model as a child. I want the child. So I'm going to drag and drop the child out on its own, and I could get rid of the parent. Okay, so now this track, I'm just going to reset its position, and it's okay that it's really, really big. I don't mind, but let me just align the camera. There you go. So here's a track. That's good. And now that I have the track as its own thing, I want to drag and drop it here and make a prefab out of it, a Unity prefab. All right. So the next thing, I'm going to go back up into my prefab folder and then go down into the Duster, the car folder. I'm going to take the car and drag and drop the car model out. And it is also very big, but that's okay. We could adjust the size. So the parent, as you can see, is a empty game object, and then it has a child. That's the actual model from MagicaVoxel. I'm going to drag and drop that out by itself. Continue, and then I can get rid of the empty prefab. Delete. And this car, darn it, it's facing the wrong way. You see this arrow here, the blue? That is my forward axis, and here it's coming out on the red. So I'm gonna have to fix that. So I'm gonna go into MagicaVoxel and re-get this model. Let me just delete, and I'm going to delete. So I'm going to show you how I get the model facing the right way. I'm going to open up MagicaVoxel again, and I saved it as the car called Duster. So here you are, Duster. I load it up, and the blue is facing sideways now. Which way do I have to turn it? I'm not exactly sure, but I know that there's this thing called rotate. So I could rotate. Oops, that's not the one I want. Come back down. That's not the one I want. Must be Z. Rotate the Z to, let's see if that's the one I want. So I'll have the model like this, and then I'll export it again. And go to my desktop, Duster, and I'll just overwrite the files that are there. And now back in Unity, I'll try this folder here. Oh, what did I just do? I think I put dark track in there by accident and put it back up. Too fast with the mouse. Okay, here's Duster. And now I'm going to put him in. And let's see if... he's facing backwards. Okay, we're almost there. So let me take Duster out again. Delete. And back to here. So I want the headlights facing this way. So this is the way I want it. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to export it again to my desktop Duster folder. Let the files overwrite one more time. Goodbye. And take Duster and bring it in my prefab folder. And now this car is facing the right way, Z. All right. Take the child and delete the empty parent. And the car is way, way, way too big. So first off, let's just reset its position. Okay, so The scale of the car is very large. So let's use scale and shrink the car down until it's about the size that we feel it should be. Okay, so let's just put it on the track, see how we feel about the size. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And there you are. That's on the track, but there's going to be a track with multiple cars and racing around the track. That car is still too big. I'm going to shrink it down some more. Shrink, 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 shrink. Let me zoom in. And I think we'll shrink it down somewhere. Here we are at 0.04. Let's do 0.03, 0.03, 0.03. Okay, and let's just put it down on the surface. Okay, now this is what we're going to use as a prefab here. So now we have a duster prefab that we're going to be modifying. So also we're going to need to have the duster have a collider. So we're going to add a mesh collider to it. And we're going to have the mesh collider apply to the basic shape of it. So I'll use the convex option and select duster. There, and you can see in green the mesh collider around the car. That looks good. And then we're going to add a rigid body so we could do the movement with physics. Okay, that looks good. All right, good. And let me just reapply that to the prefab. So I press apply, and that updates the prefab. So the car has a collider. Let's press play and see what happens if it lands on the track and it falls right through the track. And the reason for that is the track also needs a collider. So I'm going to add a physics mesh collider so it fits to the shape of the track. So the track, I don't want to use a convex collider like I did with the car, because if I use a convex collider on the track, it's kind of wrapping the whole track in like gift wrapping paper. I just want the actual collider to match up to the actual mesh of the track. So I won't check convex. All right, so now the car and the track have a collider. So let's see what happens when we press play if the car lands on the track. It does, good. Now let's take that script that we used earlier, the control script, and apply that control script to our duster car. So I select the duster and I'm going to drag and drop the control script right here. Come on. There you go. All right, we got acceleration at 1.5 and turn speed at 90. Let's see how that works. Let's see. Let me zoom out so I can view the whole track better. So we didn't do any camera yet. And I'm going to press play. And now I'm going to use the arrow keys. Yes, and it does bang into the walls. Yes, good, good. Now, there we go. I think that this is going to work for a racing game. We're going to have to do a little camera script to get the camera to follow the car so we could actually see how it feels to follow the car. And we'll do that in the next video.